Warne has proven himself a master of League One promotions. They're probably not going to lose many games the rest of this season. So, can Derby win the playoffs? The Derby County story has not had many happy chapters in the past few years, but have the Rams finally found the man to bang some saucepans and awaken a bit of a sleeping giant? The man I'm alluding to is Paul Warne, a 3 times promotion winner from League One with Rotherham, and currently the curator of an 11-game undefeated league streak that's seen Derby tuck in behind the top 3 in the League One table. How did we get here? Well, I'll keep this brief as Derby fans will be well aware of this particular tale of woe. 2008, relegated as the worst team in Premier League history. 2014, Bobby Zamora, last-minute winner for 10-man QPR in the Championship playoff final. 2015, dropped from 1st to 8th in the last 13 games of the Championship. 2016, lost to Hull in the playoff semis. 2018, lost to Fulham in the playoff semis. 2019, lost to Villa in the playoff final. 2020, EFL charge. 2021, fine. Transfer embargo, administration, points deduction ×2. 2022, relegated down to League One. Now, Derby fans will be hoping that the long, slow, painful descent turns around this season. Pre-season property developer David Clowes took over the club and set about rebuilding the squad. This, although, had to be done under an EFL-approved business plan, which meant wages were capped and transfer fees barred completely. Way too many players came in for me to name-check them all individually, but the focus seemed to be on experienced players with pedigree, the likes of David McGoldrick, Conor Hourihane, James Chester and James Collins all joined the Rams at Pride Park in League One. Derby's biggest move, however, came in September, 9 games in, when they persuaded Paul Warne to drop from the Championship with Rotherham down to League One to replace Liam Rosenior in the dugout. Whatever your perception of Warne, or indeed Rotherham, this was certainly a ballsy move by Clowes to target a boss in a job and a division up while sitting in 7th place in League One. The intentions seemed very clear. Warne has proven himself a master of League One promotions, with 3 of them with Rotherham winning the playoffs in 2018 and going up automatically in both 2020 and last season in 2022. Anyone who knows League One will tell you that there have been clubs as big as, and maybe even bigger than Derby County appear at the level before. They do often find their way back up, but it's seldom a speedy process that the uninitiated might imagine it would be. So, can Warne turn Derby around this season or beyond? Well, his ideas seem to be getting across to his players, and what was a bit of a slower, more fiddly playing style under Rosenior is now a more direct up-and-at-'em style under Warne, who, by his own admission, wants players to leave everything out there and to make opposition defenders defend. Warne's arrival has seen an improvement in Derby and that big unbeaten run start to build up. So far, the improvement has seen Derby move up from 7th when he arrived to 4th right now, and from a score of 1.55 points per game up to 1.8. The gap to the top 2 is currently 11 points, and unless we get a big drop-off from the front runners, it looks like Derby would need a huge uplift from where they are now to make the top 2. Not impossible, but in my humble opinion, also not too likely. Don't misrepresent me here though. The way Derby are going, they're probably not going to lose many games the rest of this season and probably set for a healthy 80 plus points total and very likely to land in one of those playoff spots. Top 2 could be an ungodly high number this season, well into the 90s to guarantee automatic promotion. So, can Derby win the playoffs? Well, of course they can. Good momentum, good manager, good support, good players, but there are a few things that could stand in their way. Firstly, will they be able to use the transfer market quite so well as their rivals might be able to this January? Obviously, Derby is a big draw for players, but going to have to jump through some hoops in terms of how they structure their deal to stay in line with this EFL business plan. We'll see by the end of the month, I guess. Secondly, if the Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich automatic race continues at the same pace and in the same manner as at the moment, you could get a very good and automatic level team in the playoffs. Now, yes, there are lots of anecdotal myths about the playoffs, but people do tend to remember the surprises rather than things going as expected and the favourites getting through. Thirdly, Derby's playoff record is not good. I think I'm right in saying 1 success to 7 failures. Look, sometimes these things have absolutely no relevance, but sometimes they do, although Warne at least has been there and done it himself though. My take, for what it's worth, I like Warne and I can see Derby getting into the playoffs this season. Would I want to face them? No, but the batch of League One clubs up at the top there have been so evenly matched the past couple of 3 seasons. I wouldn't really want to face any of the teams that would likely end up in the playoffs. Would I be surprised if Warne did get Derby up this season? No, but I'd also suggest that if he didn't and the transfer situation eases ahead of next summer, you'd expect that winning momentum to build even further into a Warne Derby full League One season. In answer to the title of the video, will Paul Warne bring Derby back to the Championship? Automatically this season? Probably not. Playoffs this season? Quite possibly. By whatever means next season? Very possibly. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. And if you want my take on the 3 teams up ahead of the Rams in League One at the moment, click here and you can see my take on the 3-way battle for the automatic spots that all Derby fans will hope extends out into a 4-way battle